And we're now about a minute away from exiting the approach ellipsoid. For those of you who are just joining us, we began our coverage of the Axiom mission for departure activities earlier this morning with hatch closure. That hatch close took place around 4:07 a.m. Central, 5:07 a.m. Eastern. The crew donned or put on their spacesuits and settled in for the departure activities.
I have you loud and clear on the cabin mic.
And we did just hear confirmation that Dragon has exited the approach
SpaceX
ellipsoid.
On the big loop, I copied you loud and clear on the cabin mic. Dragon is also outside of the approach ellipsoid and is now on a 24-hour safe free drift trajectory. You can configure comm on Dragon to ground in preparation for disabling the big loop.
Dragon copies all and configuring comms for Dragon to ground.
Now that Dragon and the Axiom Mission 4 crew have exited the approach ellipsoid, that means the vehicle is now on a 24-hour safe free drift trajectory, which means the spacecraft would not cross into the approach ellipsoid for at least 24 hours again, even if it lost all maneuvering. So now that the crew and Dragon have exited the approach ellipsoid, they are settling in for their journey back to Earth. That journey will take about 22 more hours until they splash down.
Is reconnected and powered on.
Houston copies.
That journey will take about 22 more hours until they splash down off the coast of California tomorrow, Tuesday, July 15th at 4:31 a.m. Central, 5:31 a.m. Eastern. Now that Dragon has exited the approach ellipsoid, the team here in Mission Control Houston will continue to monitor, but prime responsibility for the spacecraft and the crew are going to be transferred to the SpaceX and Axiom space teams. We also heard that they are working on steps to deconfigure the big loop. That big loop was configured earlier today during those hatch close operations, and it is a joint communication loop between NASA, SpaceX, the International Space Station crew, and the Dragon crew during joint operations. Now that Dragon has successfully exited the approach ellipsoid, our joint coverage will come to a close as responsibility of the spacecraft and crew is now in the hands of SpaceX and Axiom Space. But thank you so much for joining us this morning for our coverage of hatch closure as well as our coverage of undocking for the Axiom Mission 4 crew. With that, I will go ahead and hand it back over to Jesse and John in Hawthorne, California as we conclude our coverage. But until next time, this is Mission Control Houston.
Awesome. Thanks, Anna. Now, the Axiom Mission 4 crew has just begun their 22-and-a-half-hour journey. So next up, the crew will doff or remove their spacesuits to get a little bit more comfortable for that flight back home. Our teams here on the ground will continue to keep an eye on the weather to ensure a safe return to Earth for Dragon and the AX4 crew. And should the current projections hold, starting at 4:28 a.m. Eastern Time, or 1:28 a.m. Pacific Time on Tuesday, July 15th, Axiom Space and SpaceX will pick up with live coverage of the conclusion of this AX-4 mission.
That's right, and should teams need to adjust the timing of the crew's return, it's our plan to go live about an hour before splashdown. So for the latest timing of the final stage of the AX-4 journey, please be sure to visit axiomspace.com and spacex.com for updates. So from all of us at Axiom Space, thank you to NASA for the incredible efforts made on this mission towards the shared goal of conducting meaningful work in low Earth orbit. This has been the mission to realize the return to human spaceflight for 3 incredible nations with big things on the horizon. So to our viewers in India, Poland, and Hungary, your crew members will be back on Earth soon, so stay tuned. And thank you for following their journey on board the International Space Station.
And thank you to all of you, the viewers, for tuning in today. We'll see you back here bright and early tomorrow morning for Splashdown of AX4.